Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive. Today we're taking a look at Google AI.
It sounds exciting.
It is, and to help us break it all down, I've got an AI expert here with me today. Thanks for joining me.
Glad to be here.
So we're going to be looking at this blog post from Neuroflash,
Okay.
a German company that makes AI marketing tools, and they've got some pretty interesting takes on what Google's up to.
I'm curious to hear their perspective.
Yeah, me too. And one of the things that jumped out at me right away was how they highlight that Google is like the world's most popular search engine.
Right.
I mean, it sounds obvious,
Yeah.
but when you think about it, that gives them a massive amount of influence over the information that we all access.
Absolutely. And especially with how much AI is driving their products now.
Exactly. So it's not just that they're using AI everywhere you look, like in Search and Gmail and Google Cloud and all these other products.
Yeah.
It's also how they're using it.
Right.
Like take the automatic reply feature in Gmail.
Okay.
On the surface, it seems like a simple time saver.
Sure.
But, when you really think about it, it's AI making decisions about how we communicate.
It is. Yeah, that's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, it raises all sorts of questions about what happens when AI starts taking on more and more of those human tasks.
Yeah, it definitely does. And the blog post actually dives into some specific examples of how Google is pushing the boundaries of AI.
Oh, really? Like what?
Well, one that caught my eye was BERT.
BERT.
It's a language processing model that's helping Google understand our search queries in a more nuanced way.
So it's not just about matching keywords anymore.
No, not at all. It's about understanding the intent behind our searches.
That's pretty impressive.
It is. It's almost like Google is learning to read between the lines.
Which is both amazing and a little creepy.
I know, right? But it really highlights how Google is constantly refining its AI to deliver more relevant and personalized results.
And speaking of personalized experiences, the post also talks about Bard,
Okay.
Google's answer to ChatGPT.
Right.
They emphasize how users can get quick answers to everyday questions.
Almost like having a super smart research assistant at your fingertips.
Yeah. Bard and ChatGPT represent a significant leap forward in how we interact with information.
Oh, definitely.
They're not just search engines anymore.
Right, yeah.
They're capable of generating human-quality text,
Wow.
translating languages, even writing different kinds of creative content.
It's like having a conversation with a computer, but one that can actually understand what you're saying and respond in a meaningful way.
Exactly.
The post even links to another article that goes deeper into ChatGPT.
Does it?
Yeah, suggesting it might be like a more advanced tool than Bard. So is Google playing catch-up here?
Well, OpenAI's ChatGPT has definitely made a big splash, and it's been impressive to see how quickly they've been able to roll out new features and functionalities.
Yeah.
But Google has a massive amount of data and resources at its disposal.
Right.
So it's possible they're taking a more cautious approach,
Okay.
focusing on the long-term implications of these technologies.
So it's like the tortoise and the hare. Maybe slow and steady wins the AI race in the end.
Possibly, but the Neuroflash post doesn't just focus on chatbots.
No.
They also highlight Cloud AutoML, a tool that lets businesses build custom machine learning models without needing to be coding experts.
Right. This is a prime example of how Google is democratizing AI, making it accessible to businesses of all sizes.
So even a small startup could potentially leverage the power of AI.
Absolutely. They could use it to optimize their operations or create new products and services.
That's a game changer.
It really is. It levels the playing field and opens up a whole world of possibilities.
But it also raises questions about how these powerful tools will be used.
Definitely, as AI becomes more widespread, it's crucial to consider the potential for misuse and the need for responsible implementation.
It's like giving everyone a superpower without a user manual.
Exactly.
We need to make sure we're using these powers for good.
Absolutely. And that's a theme that runs throughout the entire discussion of AI finding that balance between innovation and responsibility.
Speaking of responsibility, the post spends a lot of time talking about Google's leadership in the AI space. They specifically call out Google Assistant as a success story, showcasing how AI can seamlessly integrate into our daily lives.
Yeah, Google Assistant is a great example of how AI is becoming more conversational and intuitive.
It's not just about typing commands anymore.
No, it's about interacting with technology in a more natural, human-like way.
It's almost like having a personal assistant who can answer your questions, control your devices, and even tell you a joke.
Right.
What's fascinating is how this shift toward voice interaction is changing our relationship with technology.
Well, it definitely is. It's blurring the lines between the digital and the physical world.
And as AI assistants become more sophisticated,
Yes.
they're becoming more integrated into our homes, our cars, and even our workplaces.
Absolutely.
It makes you wonder what the future holds.
It does.
Will we be talking to our refrigerators and having our cars drive us to work while we chat with our AI assistants about the day's agenda?
It's certainly a possibility.
But it also raises questions about privacy and control.
Right. As AI becomes more integrated into our lives, it's important to consider how much data we're sharing and who has access to that data.
That's a really good point. It's easy to get caught up in the excitement of new technology, but we need to be mindful of the potential downsides as well.
I agree.
The Neuroflash post touches on this, especially when they get into the more philosophical aspects of Google AI.
Oh, how so?
Well, they actually ask, what is Google AI? It's like they're trying to define its essence,
Okay.
going beyond the specific products and services to explore the deeper implications of Google's AI ambitions.
That's a question worth considering. What does it mean for a company to have so much influence over the development and deployment of AI? What are the ethical implications of these technologies?
It feels like we're at a crossroads. AI has the potential to solve some of the world's biggest problems,
Yeah.
but it also has the potential to create new ones if we're not careful.
Exactly. And that's why it's so important to have these conversations to explore both the possibilities and the pitfalls of AI. Because ultimately, the future AI is not just up to Google, it's up to all of us.
I completely agree. Okay, so we've talked about like Google's big picture AI strategy,
Right.
but what does that actually look like, in practice?
Yeah, good question.
The Neuroflash blog post dives into some pretty interesting real-world examples.
Okay, I'm all ears.
One that really stood out to me was AI in healthcare,
Oh, yeah.
like using it to diagnose diseases earlier and more accurately.
It's amazing what's happening in that space.
Right. We're already seeing AI-powered tools that can analyze medical images to detect patterns that, like, human doctors might miss.
It's like having a second opinion.
Yeah, from a doctor who's seen millions of scans and can spot even the tiniest anomaly.
And it's not just images.
Oh, really?
AI can also analyze patient data, like medical records,
Oh, wow.
even genetic information.
To personalize treatment plan?
Exactly. It's like AI is taking personalized medicine to a whole new level.
That's incredible. It really does feel like AI has the potential to revolutionize healthcare.
It does. But of course, there are challenges.
Like what kinds of challenges?
Well, for one thing, these AI systems need to be trained on huge amounts of data.
Right.
And we need to make sure that data is diverse and
For
representative.
different populations.
Exactly, to avoid bias in the algorithms.
That's a crucial point. We don't want AI to perpetuate existing health disparities.
Absolutely. And then there are the practical challenges of integrating these technologies into healthcare systems.
Which can be pretty complex.
Because it can be complex and slow to adapt.
It seems like AI in healthcare is this balancing act
Yeah.
between its amazing potential and the need for, careful implementation.
Absolutely. It's a powerful tool, but it's not a magic bullet.
Right.
We still need human doctors and nurses
To make sure everything's working properly.
to interpret the data, make decisions, and provide care.
Speaking of AI and jobs, the Neuroflash post also talks about how AI is changing the way we work.
Yeah, it's a big topic.
They highlight AI-powered assistants that can handle routine tasks.
Freeing up humans to focus on more creative work.
Right, it's an interesting shift. On the one hand, it's exciting to think about AI taking over those mundane tasks.
Like sorting through emails or scheduling meetings.
Ugh, exactly. But it also makes you wonder about the future of work.
Sure, as AI becomes more capable, what happens to the jobs that are automated?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question. Will AI create more jobs than it destroys, or will we see mass unemployment?
It's hard to say for sure, but I think it's important to focus on developing skills that are uniquely human.
Like what kinds of skills?
Things like creativity, critical thinking, and emotional intelligence.
Because those are the things that AI can't replicate.
Exactly. Those are the skills that will be in high demand in an AI-powered world.
So it's not about being replaced by AI.
Right. It's about using AI to augment our own abilities.
And that brings us to another point that the Neuroflash post makes about Google's commitment to making AI more sustainable.
Oh, interesting.
They talk about using AI to like optimize energy consumption in their data centers
Huh?
and develop more eco-friendly products.
That's great to hear because AI itself can be pretty energy intensive.
Oh, definitely. Think about all the computing power needed to train those complex models.
Right, so there's a kind of irony there, using AI to reduce the environmental impact of AI.
Exactly. And Google, with all its resources and expertise in both AI and sustainability,
Mm-hmm.
seems like they're well positioned to address this.
Yeah, it's encouraging to see them thinking about the bigger picture.
Okay, so we've talked about the positive impacts of Google AI,
Right.
like in healthcare, the workforce, and sustainability.
Hmm.
But what about the potential downsides?
Well, the Neuroflash post doesn't shy away from those either.
They don't.
They acknowledge concerns about bias in algorithms,
Uh-huh.
the potential for job displacement,
Right.
and the need for strong ethical guidelines.
One thing they really emphasize is the importance of transparency.
Oh, definitely.
Like users having the right to know when they're interacting with AI.
And how those systems are making decisions.
Exactly. Transparency is crucial for building trust.
It is. If we're going to rely on AI for important decisions, we need to be able to see how it's arriving at those decisions.
Like the old saying, trust but verify.
Exactly. We need to be able to look under the hood, so to speak.
And it's not just about transparency for users.
Right.
It's also about transparency in the development process.
AI developers need to be open about the data they're using.
And the potential biases that might be there.
Exactly. So it's a multifaceted issue.
Right.
We need transparency at every level.
From how the systems are built to how they interact with us.
Absolutely. And this brings us to another important consideration, regulation.
Oh yeah, as AI becomes more widespread, there's a growing need for clear guidelines.
Definitely we need regulations to ensure its ethical and responsible use.
It's like the Wild West out there right now.
Yeah. It is AI is developing so quickly that it's hard for regulations to keep up.
Right, and it's tricky because regulations need to strike a balance
Between fostering innovation and protecting people.
from potential harm.
Exactly. We don't want to stifle progress, but we also need to make sure AI is used for good.
And that's why it's so important for everyone to be part of this conversation.
I agree. It's not just up to tech companies or policymakers to decide the future of AI.
We all have a role to play.
We do in shaping how this technology is developed and used.
So how does all of this actually affect, like, the average person?
Yeah, how is Google AI showing up in our lives right now?
Well, think about how you use Google products every day.
Okay.
When you search for something online, AI is working behind the scenes,
Right.
delivering the most relevant results.
And when I use Google Maps, AI is helping me find the fastest route.
Exactly. And when you use Google Assistant to set reminders or play music, you're interacting with AI.
It's amazing how seamlessly AI has been integrated into our daily routines.
And it's only going to become more integrated.
As AI continues to evolve, we can expect even more personalized experiences.
Right, more intuitive interfaces
And a more powerful tool.
to help us navigate the world.
It sounds both exciting and a little daunting.
It does, but it's important to remember that we have agency in this process.
Right? We can choose how we engage with AI.
What data we share and how we advocate for ethical development.
So it's not about being passive consumers of AI.
It's about actively shaping how AI shapes our world.
Exactly. And that brings us back to the Neuroflash blog post's call to action.
Oh yeah, generate attractive content with artificial intelligence.
It's a reminder that AI is not just a tool for big companies.
Right. It's available to everyone.
And that's where things get really interesting.
What happens when everyone has access to these powerful tools?
What kind of content will we create? How will we use AI to express ourselves, connect with others?
Make a difference in the world.
Those are the questions we need to be asking as we move forward into this new era of AI, and that's where we'll pick up in the final part of our deep dive.
So that call to action from Neuroflash, generate attractive content with artificial intelligence, it really got me thinking about like the creative potential of AI.
Yeah, it does seem like everyone's talking about AI turning us all into, artists and writers overnight.
Right. Well, it's true that the tools for creating content are getting super sophisticated.
Oh, they are. We're seeing AI generate music, write stories, even create art that's like indistinguishable from human work.
It's kind of mind-blowing, isn't it? Imagine a world where anyone can create a symphony or paint a masterpiece without any training.
It is pretty amazing, but it also brings up some interesting questions about what it means to be creative.
Right. Like, is it still art if a machine made it?
Yeah, and what about human emotion and expression in a world where AI can mimic any style?
Those are some deep questions.
They are questions that philosophers and artists will be debating for years to come.
But beyond those philosophical questions, there are also practical ones to consider.
Like how AI-generated content will be used in different industries.
Exactly. Will it replace human creativity or will it enhance it?
Will we see a ton of AI-generated marketing materials or even AI-written news articles?
It's wild to think about, and it goes back to that question we were talking about earlier,
Right.
about AI and the workforce.
Right, will AI make certain jobs obsolete? Or will it free us up to focus on more complex tasks that require uniquely human skills?
It's the same question applied to creativity,
Maybe AI will handle the more technical aspects of creation.
like generating basic layouts or composing melodies.
And then human artists can focus on the conceptual and emotional elements.
It'd be a pretty cool partnership, almost like having an AI muse to bounce ideas off of.
Exactly. It's about seeing AI not as a replacement for human creativity, but as a tool that can expand it.
And it seems like Google is on board with that collaborative approach,
Oh yeah, they talk about building AI systems that are designed to work alongside humans.
augmenting our abilities, not replacing them.
They even have a term for it, human-centered AI.
It's about prioritizing human needs and values in AI development.
Which is a really important shift in perspective, because for a while it felt like the AI conversation was all about automation and efficiency.
Right, and those are important, but we can't lose sight of the human element.
Absolutely. We need to show that AI is used to empower people, not make them obsolete.
And that leads us to another area where we can expect to see big advancements: personalization.
You mean like how Google already personalizes our search results and recommends products based on our browsing history?
Yeah, but imagine that taken to a whole new level.
AI systems that know what we need before we even ask.
AI that understands our preferences and gives us customized experiences across all aspects of our lives.
Like having a personal AI assistant who knows us better than we know ourselves.
Kind of like that AI systems that can help us manage our schedules, make decisions, and navigate the world more easily.
It sounds amazing, but also a little creepy.
Yeah. Will we even have to think for ourselves anymore?
That's a valid concern. As AI gets more personalized, we need to make sure we stay in control of our lives and our choices.
We don't want to become so reliant on AI that we can't make our own decisions.
Right, it's about finding that balance where AI can enhance our lives without taking over.
And that balance will be even more crucial as AI becomes more integrated into our physical world as well.
What do you mean by physical world?
Well, think about self-driving cars, smart homes, AI-powered robots.
Oh, right.
These are all examples of how AI is moving beyond the digital and into our physical spaces.
So AI is going to be everywhere, not just on our screens.
Exactly. And that has the potential to change our lives in huge ways.
Imagine seamless transportation homes that anticipate our needs, robots that help us with everyday tasks.
It sounds like science fiction, but also a bit scary. What happens if the robots take over?
That's a common fear. But we have to remember that AI systems are just tools.
Right, like any tool that can be used for good or bad, it depends on us.
It all comes down to how we develop and use them.
So the future of Google AI, and really the future of AI in general, is up to us.
In a way, yes, the choices we make today about how we develop, regulate, and interact with AI will shape the future.
So what can we do to make sure AI is a force for good?
We need to stay informed. We need to understand both the benefits and the risks of AI.
And be engaged in the conversations about how it's being developed.
We can't just leave it to the tech companies to decide our future.
Exactly. We need to work together to ensure that AI is used ethically and responsibly.
That means demanding transparency and accountability from the people developing these powerful technologies.
And it means thinking critically about the implications of AI for society, our economy, and our future.
We also need to be proactive about preparing ourselves and future generations for a world with AI.
Investing in education and training that focuses on the skills that AI can't replace.
Like critical thinking, creativity, problem solving.
Those are the skills that will set us apart from machines and help us thrive.
So the message here is don't be afraid of AI, but approach it thoughtfully and responsibly.
See it as a tool that can help us solve problems, create new opportunities, and build a better future.
That's a great way to put it. AI isn't the enemy. It's a powerful force that we need to learn to use for good.
And that's what this whole deep dive has been about, exploring the potential of Google AI and thinking about the big questions it raises for humanity.
It's been a really interesting conversation.
It has, and I hope it's encouraged you to keep learning about this complex and rapidly changing field.
Because the future of AI is being shaped right now, and we all have a role to play.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We'll see you next time for another exploration of the ideas and innovations that are changing our world.